university shoe repair. I did shoe repairs, luggage repair, purses, all kind of repair work, golf bags, and just about anything made out of leather could be repaired. We had a program called Diversified Occupation, and we just shortened it, called it DO. And we would go to a class in the 11th grade. We would go to school for half a day, and then we be assigned to as an apprentice on a job that we might, well, we started out basically just to get a job to try to earn some income. And I wanted to go into electricity. I wanted to be an electrician, but there were no available apprenticeships for electricity. So the only opening was shoe repairing. So I decided to make the best of what I could be assigned to, and I really didn't go into shoe repairing just because I really loved it, but it was an opportunity for me to make some money in high school. And so I got into it in high school on the DO program, and the program was almost like the area tech schools are now, where you go and learn a trade and get on-the-job training. And when you finish, you get a certificate of completion. And the program that I was in, the instructor had finished Tuskegee University, and he was certified, state certified in the area of shoe repairing. In fact, he was the only state certified shoe repairman in Tuscaloosa. And so when I finished, and we would take all the theory work in a classroom and on-the-job training in his shop. When I finished, I was awarded a state certificate certification in area of shoe repairing. From there, I just worked in various shoe repair shops and just kind of honed my skill, and was able to learn the machinery and the equipment and all the aspects of shoe repairing. And that's how I really got into it. But I was, at the same time, I was going to college. And because I really didn't go into it to be a shoe repairman, I just wanted to earn some income. But I saw an opportunity. During the summer, there was a shoe repair business out at McFarland Mall called Mall Shoe Repair. And the owner was Mr. Otis Burnett. So he owned some trailer parks up in Birmingham. And so he knew that I was pretty good in shoe repairing. I didn't have a business then. I was just working for someone else. And he wanted to know if I could keep his business for him for a week until he decided to go to Birmingham and take care of the business of the trailers. So I worked for him for a whole week. And his equipment was not the best equipment, but it was sufficient. But in that week, we did a lot of work. He came back, and he looked around at and checked his cash register and his receipts. He said, man, he said, good grief. He said, you really know how to do some shoe repair. He said, you made me more money in a week than I made in a whole month. He said, how about coming to work for me? And so I said, what are you going to pay? He said, I'll pay you $20,000. And he said, because he asked me, he said, what are you making now teaching? I said, $8,000. He said, how about I give you 20 in a 2-week vacation? So I said, wow. I said, let me think about this. I went home because I always discuss things with my wife, because we were partners, and that I didn't want to make a decision like that right on the spot. So I told her, I said, you know, Mr. Burnett is going to give me $20,000 in a 2-week vacation if I come work for him, because he said I made him more money in a week than he made in a month, you know. So he's wanting to really reward me. She said, well, that's pretty good. He said, but let's think about it. I said, you know something? If he can pay me $20,000, and I said, maybe we ought to open up our own business. I said, because I'm state certified and he's not. I said, I might know more about shoe repairing than he does. So we mortgaged our house and applied for a small business administration loan. And that's how I got into business. I went and secured a building out on 13th Avenue, near the university, on the strip, 508 13th Avenue. And got that building. I resigned from teaching, withdrew all my money, and invested it in the business. And I ordered the equipment, all brand new equipment, because I had gotten a loan. And I went, my wife and I decided to just take a vacation while the equipment was being shipped. Retirement. And when we got back in 1976, I opened up that business on the Strip. And I had a lot of people to tell me that you opened up in the wrong place. Say, you shouldn't be out there on that Strip. You said that there are no black people out there on that Strip, you know, and you're not going to be able to be successful out there. So I said, no, I said, I knew the gentleman that had a shoe repair shop out there before. I was just interested in opening up a business. I decided to open up that business basically because I saw the income possibilities. There was no shop out near the university. So I decided, I said, well, there used to be a shop out there, and there was one in Alberta City. But I decided that I would open up at the university because of Rex's shoe repair shop that I knew had been successful. Against all the advice, a lot of people wanted me to open up in the West Park Shopping Center up here on Stillman Hill. But I knew that there were not as many people on Stillman Hill that could support my business as at the university. The university is a whole nother city almost. And so I said, well, I think I'm going to go where the greater population is. You say, but you're not going to be able to be successful out there. Those white people are not going to come out there and support you. I said, what? I said, are you crazy? I said, man, I'm out there to do business. I said, I'm going to take customers, whoever they are, wherever they come from. I said, I'm not going to just be out there, you know, looking for certain folk to come support me. I'm out there for people. And I'm repairing shoes for the general public. There was a couple that sat across the street from me, an elderly couple. And they watched my business for 3 years. And I remember he drove an old Jeep. He and his wife came over there one day and said, mister, we've been just watching you to see if you're going to be able to stay out here. And since you've been here 3 years, we're going to be your best customers. And they did. They watched for 3 years to see if I was going to be able to stay there, because a lot of people thought I wouldn't be able to, but I knew my craft. It's a really interesting place out there. Very friendly place. Even made some boots for Big Al. And on occasion, he would come by, Big Al would come by, and he'd have the uniform on. And then sometimes, in fact, I had a picture once where he brought his boots in, his shoes, and set them on the counter. And we took those, and we would always put new bottoms on for him. And if during the process of cheering, and being the mascot, they would get torn, I would be the one to repair them. Guys came out there to run a news article. Michael Jacobson had just moved to Tuscaloosa. You might remember his real estate company. Young man, Michael Jacobson, okay, but he still has a real estate company here. But they did a story on Michael Jacobson and me and another young business person in Tuscaloosa. We had survived throughout the recession. And they wanted to know how we were able to still flourish, and our business still, you know, stayed afloat even during the recession. So they did a big story on us. And I just really, my thing was people needed the repairs, and those who couldn't afford to buy shoes at that time could afford to get them repaired. And I had several doctors that would come for me to do orthopedic work, because I was kind of trained in doing orthopedic work. And I did prosthesis and things for people to repair, and also did I did the metatarsal bars and lateral wedges and transverse arch wedges and all these type things for the people at the VA hospital. I was there actually at the university. My shop was there for 16 years at the university. But then I leased my shop out to a gentleman. When I went back to school, I became a student again out there while I was repairing shoes. And I went ahead to pursue a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree out there at the university. And I graduated from the university in 1987 and went back to teaching. and I leased the business out to another shoe repairman. And while he was operating the business, the shop burned down. It burned in 91. And when it burned in 91, we were essentially out of business.